Hi, everybody. My name is Patrice Palmer, and I'm recording this from Canada. I'm happy to be part of another EFL Talks. Today, my topic is warm-up activities, not just fun and games. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, my email address is there. And I have some links at the end of my presentation. So let's get started. But what is a warm-up activity? Hopefully you've used warm-up activities before, but maybe you didn't really think about why teachers should use them. So first of all, a warm-up, it's a quick activity. It's about 5 minutes used at the beginning of a class. So 5 minutes, that's all it takes just to get a warm-up activity going. So you can also use warm-ups in the middle of your lesson. So perhaps you're going on a break and it might be a good idea just to do a warm-up just before the break to energize students. These are called fillers, or also at the end of your class. These are called enders. So if you've been teaching, you may find that at the end of your class, you have 5, 6, 7 minutes. This is a perfect opportunity to do a quick warm-up activity. Always have something ready to go for those classes that end a few minutes early. And that also gives you an opportunity to have students leave your class on a happy, positive note. So why use warm-up activities? I've presented on this topic quite a bit for about the last 10 years or so, and so I'm a real believer in the use of warm-up activities. And I have 10 reasons why I think teachers should use warm-up activities. So let's get started. So my first reason is to introduce a topic. The second is to motivate students to arrive on time. So if you are planning a warm-up activity at the beginning of your lesson, that's fun. Students don't want to feel like they're missing out on something. So if they arrive a couple minutes late and they see students engaged, laughing, communicating with others, they might just feel like they've missed out on something. Third reason, to get students' attention. So these are just quick activities to get students focused. Number 4, boost students' energy. So a lot of warm-up activities are very interactive, participatory, moving around in the classroom, talking to other students. So this is a really great way to get some blood flowing to the brain. Fifth reason, transitioning from L1 to L2. So when I taught in Hong Kong, I realized that this was really important before I started my English class because students were only using Cantonese. They used English when they came to my English class. So giving them a couple of minutes to think about, oh, now I'm in English class and I've got to start thinking in English and using English. My sixth reason, learn English without knowing it. So students are engaged, they're involved in an activity, English is being used, and perhaps they don't even realize that that they're improving on their skills or learning new English words. 7, creates an interest in learning. So with warm-up activities, you can use any topic. So if you're teaching English for academic purposes, you could do something totally unrelated to academic English, just to get students engaged and thinking in English. Number 8, encourages collaborative learning. So many warm-up activities are done in teams, pairs, find somebody who, so you're moving around. We don't always have to award prizes for the top team, but we can support each other in these kinds of learning teams. 9, recycles language from previous lessons. So I do have an activity called categories that you can use to recycle vocabulary, and that is available in a free download that I will talk about at the end of this presentation. So my 10th and most important reason why we should use warm-up activities are because they're fun. So learning another language is hard work. This gives us a couple of minutes with our students to have some fun. There's lots of research around laughter and releasing endorphins, which makes us feel good. So don't be afraid to have students relax and laugh and have a good time in your class. Here. So a couple of things to remember with warm-up activities. So warm-up activities are not just fun and games. So they are used by teachers as teaching and learning tools. So there is learning that goes along with these activities. They're not just time wasters, but they're a way for students to work on their language skills. Another really important point is to remember to use activities that really require very little preparation by yourself. So I know that ESL, EFL teachers are very busy people. I was an ESL teacher for 20 years. It takes a long time for us to plan our lessons in the beginning of our career. So we want to make sure that we're not overloading ourselves with more planning. And again, the warm-up activities that I have as a free download are quick, easy to prepare. Many don't require photocopies, might just need a whiteboard, might just need students' brains. So these are activities that you can just quickly do with your students. Oh, and I wanted to add that another way to really use your time wisely is to have students participate by planning and delivering the warmers. So I did this with my TESOL students many times, sometimes 30 students in a class. So that took the pressure off me to plan that warm-up. And it also gave me 30 great new ideas to add to my my arsenal of warm-ups. Another really important thing to remember is that we need to use a variety of activities to keep students interested in what we're doing. So even the most fun activity, students love it, they ask to do it. That can become boring if overused. So using brainstorming activities over and over again can just become boring. Things like two truths and a lie, you really can't use those over and over again. So again, you have to keep adding to your warm-up activities. So one way to kind of reduce the time pressure for you is to share warm-up activities with other teachers. So smart teachers find ways to save time. You can Google warm-up activities. You can find several websites that have all kinds of warm-ups. And so once you have all your warm-ups, then you need to find a way to organize them. So I've used file cards as recipe cards in the past. Some teachers I know use a USB stick that they carry around. Everything is there. You can print off my top 20 warm-up activities, just have them in your teaching bag, and then you're ready to go. So I want to thank you for listening to my presentation today. Warm-up activities, not just fun and games. So hopefully you have a clear understanding of how we can use them as teaching tools. My free download volume 1 is available, and watch for volume 2 coming very soon. Thanks everybody. Happy teaching.